Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote-unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I am super excited that you've joined me on this magical today. Today, I've decided to share with you a session that was done with me when me and my colleagues, my friends, my sisters were in Hawaii for the first time together. And typically, as you may know, if you've heard this on the show before, when we get together, oftentimes, because we're all regression practitioners, we're all hypnosis practitioners, we like to put each other out into that trance state, or we put ourselves out into that trance state, and another one of us will ask questions. In this case, we were all laying on the lawn at nighttime in the front of the house that we were staying in. And you can hear the crickets chirping on the lawn. And we were just enjoying the moonlight and the stars. And this is typically how we have fun. And we love to explore. And so I think I put myself out this time. And I was laying there on the grass, and this is Sarah Breskman Cosme asking me questions. And what's interesting is that we had started before the recording starts. But interestingly, and this happens oftentimes, not oftentimes, but this can happen when we do things like this, where one of us will forget to press the button, or we think we pressed the button and it wasn't recording. And so the very beginning of what I had said did not record. And so when that thing kind of happens, it means, well, it wasn't supposed to be recorded. And so you'll hear at the beginning, she's trying to remember some of the things that she asked me. And this beginning material, she was curious about some of the material in her first book, The Secrets of Atlantis, A Hypnotist's Journey to the Secrets of Atlantis. And in that book is a lot about the remnants that we still have from that time, when a person has maybe a remnant of a tail or a third nipple. And she was specifically asking me about the third nipple and what that was about. And so that's where it starts. And then she goes into some other questions that were pertaining to her third book. This book is now out. At the time, the book was not out, and she was still working on it. And so we were talking about the indigenous cultures and the new children, and even other abilities on other planets. And you'll also hear that every time I go into this state, I remain there. I'm very much aware of what's going on. You'll even hear me laughing in the background. Not in the background. You hear me kind of come through and laugh at the conversation while I'm also bringing through the message that's not laughing, but then I'm on the other side laughing. It's like there's two parts, two pieces. We all have these two pieces, two voices in our head. There's our conscious piece, and then there's this other piece that's always connected to these higher dimensional aspects of ourselves. And so I think it's really interesting to be able to hear that and know that, it's not always this knocking out, going somewhere else having to not be there type of thing where you're not aware in order to bring these messages through. That's not the case at all. Most people, in my experience, are very much aware and cognizant of what is going on and can even come through and, like me, laugh or say things sometimes. So here you go. Take a listen. This is actually a fairly long clip, and it does have all these different concepts in it. And you will hear me cry because the emotion is super intense. The energy that comes through is super intense. And it's also very hard for me to speak through it. And so my voice gets shaky and I'm crying and all the things. But I like to play this because it is through that you can feel the feeling. And this is the main reason why I want to play it, is the feeling. Take a listen.
So a third nipple and something like that is remnants, DNA remnants from Atlantis. And when the people with this remember who they truly are, it will activate
their innate powers, our innate powers. Everyone has these powers. Yes?
Is there any way for people without these remnants to activate their power?
Of course. Because everyone has them. It is in the remembrance. And for those who don't have this switch, shall we call it, they just need to focus.
So are you saying that like a triple nipple is like a switch?
No, not necessarily. The triple nipple or things like the triple nipple. That's a fun thing to say though, triple nipple. That triple nipple is what shows up in the body from this remnant.
Okay.
But it's not the nipple that's the switch, it's the remnant inside.
Okay.
That is the switch. The nipple is a side effect of the remnant.
Okay. And you were saying earlier that the new children, the ones with that would be considered different, are what is sparking the elders to bring back their culture.
Yes, they carry the thought form that is igniting within them the inspiration.
Okay, thank you. That's very beautiful. I like that.
They want it for the children. They can see within the children that the children are carrying this energy, and they want to help them remember and to keep the culture and to help them foster it, to feed it.
Okay, it's beautiful. Thank you. And so, as far as lessons that the indigenous culture wanted to share.
Yes. Communion with the land. Recognition of oneness with all. Recognition of the land is me, and I am the land. We are the same.
A lot of indigenous cultures sometimes were worried about digging. Not worried, but they refused to dig in certain areas.
Do you want to be dug at? It hurts, doesn't it hurt? When someone digs at you? It hurts.
What are you feeling?
It just hurts, it hurts. She doesn't like to be dug at or exploded.
Tell me
She
more.
just wants to live and grow like everyone else. And go along peacefully, growing, be left alone and respected, not taken from and raped constantly. She gives and gives and gives and gives. There's not very many who respect and have the gratitude, and she still gives.
How does she feel about this?
Luckily, there are the ones who are giving the respect and the gratitude with so much power that she sustains for that, because there are enough.
How does she feel when someone gives her gratitude?
Oh, it's so good. So good. So good. You're all talking of the songs. Earlier. Oh, she sings. It's a beautiful, beautiful, humming, beautiful.
So, if someone sends her gratitude and respect, then how does that affect her?
It strengthens her from the inside. It is her core brightens, lightens, shines brighter. Just like inside your bodies, you have a heart that brightens and shines when you're loved. What you feel when your heart shines with love, she feels that too. It feels the same.
Does she feel upset about what happens to her?
Yes.
Things? Tell me about
Yes.
that.
It's like I don't understand. I don't understand why they have to do this to me. Why can't they see that I live too? And I breathe too? And all I want to do is love and give and nurture and protect and provide. But they take. And this is what the indigenous cultures know. They know this. They feel it.
What's the purpose of them being so suppressed, so mistreated?
Because they know it. They know this power, and this power is being suppressed. It's the power, it's the knowledge, it's the oneness. In this oneness, no one can take power over you. And so any knowledge of this power throughout the ages has from those who want to take has tried to be taken from you.
So now it's coming back. What is happening?
Because now it's time. Now it's time. It's time. We're moving. And there is no more time to stay in that energy. And it is time for the power, for you all to recognize your power and to live in it and to shine it and to teach it, to be it.
When the shamans would go in and out of dimensions, a lot of them described almost like piercing through a membrane.
Yes.
Could you explain what you feel shamans do when they go in and out of dimensions?
Yeah, more like it's like a veil membrane. Same thing. A membrane sounds thicker.
Mm-hmm.
And a veil sounds thinner, so it's kind of in between those two. Membrane to Erica sounds like tissue. It's in between mist and tissue. More plasma-like. even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the best, easiest way to describe it.
Are there any other messages aside from respect the earth and be grateful to the earth that are important for people to understand that are from the indigenous cultures?
Once those concepts are understood, they translate into how you treat each other. Once you understand that you are everything, you cannot hurt another. You cannot take without being grateful for. You cannot take without asking. You cannot take a life without being grateful. There's not an indigenous culture that ever killed an animal without being grateful and showing respect and thanking them for feeding the village. That tradition has been lost. And it is necessary to show that respect.
And if this all comes
for all.
If these cultures and this knowledge is coming back at this time, what would that look like for humanity?
Oh, it looks like.
At this moment, at this time.
If it happened like in the blink of an eye at this moment, we would be all on the new dimension. That's what that will look like. When this happens, that's where you will be. That's where we will be.
And what is that going to be like with this knowledge coming back, with the indigenous culture information coming back? What will that look like?
What will the knowledge look like? Or what will
humanity be like? What will happen?
More loving, more in tune, more. Every time this question comes, we show her Mimsy. That scene in Mimsy, that is exactly what it will be. The beginning of Mimsy, where the children are sitting in the field of flowers and levitating with their teacher and communing with them, and learning and telepathically. They don't have to speak. There's no need to work hard in that existence. We will just be and live and love and enjoy. And barter and trade. We've come so far from the indigenous ways, and we're going back to them. Simplicity and love. It's all very simple.
You know, oftentimes when you lose something, you gain something more.
The knowledge.
Is there something new that will come because of all of this?
Yes, because when you've experienced all of this contrast, and now you really know, now you know that that's not the way. You've tried it all, and you know which way. You choose which way you want it to be. And that's what you're all doing, is you're choosing this path of love.
It's beautiful. Do you have any other messages about anything at all that you would like to share with me personally about this book or anything else?
Yes, this book is going to do for the people who read it what the indigenous children are doing for the indigenous elders.
That's beautiful. Ah! That is very important what you just said, because I got a sign about that. Thank you. Could you just tell me a little bit more about the new children coming in?
The
What is
ones that are coming
happening
are the
now?
ones that are here, because the ones that are coming are going to be even more fun.
And what do you mean by that?
More. You think the ones now are special. Wait till you see what the new ones are going to be able to do.
What are they going to be like?
They're going to come in with these abilities, like, meaning the baby wants the cereal and the bowl will come closer to the baby.
Wow.
Because they will innately come in knowing how to do this. They remember. As the energies keep increasing, more remembrance is allowed is not the right word, but it's the only word that I can.
Oh,
It's coming with it, but
okay.
it's as the energies increase, the abilities that are allowed to come in with the children are increasing, as it's tolerable, as the earth, as the people can handle it.
Love that. Are there any abilities
If
that
you
we're
think
not
about
aware
that
of?
now, that would really freak a lot of people out if the baby could move their cereal bowl towards them. As we become more aware, it's not going to be so shocking.
Are there any abilities that are completely brand new that we are not aware of yet, that we will start to find out about?
Not aware of. You all are very aware of many things. So as far as you all are concerned, no. You have an idea of all the things that are possible.
Are there any abilities on other planets that we aren't aware of at all?
Well, I mean, yes. There's all different, levels and existences that on certain planets or other dimensional existences, when you say abilities, it's more of a natural existence in the way that they live and the way that they are. You would consider them abilities. They consider it normal.
Could you tell me one of those?
Like, for example, there are human-looking beings on other planets that can either be breathing under the water or breathing on the land.
Mm-hmm.
They can fly in the air. That's natural. They can do all of those things.
Is there anything that they could do that humans don't have a concept about?
Not that we can see.
Okay. Thank you.
A fun little tidbit, synchronicity to add is I just had a session recently where the client saw themselves as a being on another planet who is able to fly in the air, swim in the water, and walk on the land all the same. So that client experienced exactly what I saw. And it was really fun for me to be able to tell that client once I woke them up that, oh yeah, I've seen that too. It's very affirming and confirming for that person that they didn't just make it up because they saw it in a movie, read it in a cartoon. That is always the way it feels, and it is never the reality. The reality is we are remembering. It just feels like our imagination. We are remembering more and more and more and more each day. I love you all so much. Keep on remembering. I'm going to leave you with this song for today by Dea Dova. Again, Dea Dova. It's going to be a Dea Dova week for me. This one is Grandmother Tree and the Feathered Serpent. Until next time, I love you all.
One
Nabuana kayana na kwa